Gaming is about escaping into another world. You don't control the character, you are the character.
Whether I'm hunting fearsome monsters or growing the best crops, gaming is how I like to relax.
I like gaming because I can go you know?
They help me escape into a world of pure imagination. Video games. What more could you ask for? Endless possibilities.
What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Diggs Gaming. Welcome back to Off Hunting. And today we are talking about some of the greatest gaming franchises of all time and a few of the worst. Today I am joined by...
Oh, KB Hunting. Yeah, this is going to be a fun episode because my Zoom just keeps cutting out completely.
It's your boy JoJo. I can already hear the fleck knocking at the gate.
It's your boy Sir Meliodas.
I'm sorry. How you pronounce that?
I'm sorry. Sir Meliodas.
There you go.
I was wondering who was going to call him out on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just going to go over these rules that we made for it again. No sports franchises. They have no business being on
Nobody
here.
says Sir
Any
Meliodas like T.
Other
Disney.
media, like comics or movie franchises, they have to be a series in of themselves. So Batman Arkham was eligible for this list, and no franchises with fewer than 3 mainline games. So Batman Horizon, The Last of Us, Perfect Dark, and Destiny were excluded from this list. Sorry, Anthony from Grammatica. Just couldn't put it on the list.
Destiny is a great game, though. I will put that on.
Yeah.
Put that on real. First one over second one, though, personally.
All right, we're not going to waste any more time.
Let's cue the ESPN music.
Now. Okay, first thing looking at this, I know what some of you were thinking. What the heck? Why did you not put Uncharted on here? We forgot about it.
Oof. The
forgot
PlayStation
about
guy
Uncharted.
forgot about Uncharted.
Okay, but
Oof.
let's do this right now. Would you guys have put Uncharted on the list, yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Nah.
Absolutely not. It's a great series. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great series, but it just can't compete with other titles.
Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, Tomb Raider.
We'll talk about Tomb Raider
Oh, Tomb
later on, but right now we're going to start with our dishonorable mentions, and KB is going to start this off.
So, first things first, Dragon Age.
Oh yeah.
It's had its high points. It's had its low points. Unfortunately, it has had mostly low points for a majority of the series. Origins wasn't that bad when I played it. In general, the graphics definitely weren't the best. But Dragon Age 5, Dragon Age Inquisition was definitely where I much more preferred the combat, the gameplay, the war table mechanic. But one good game does not make a good series. And Dragon Age 2 really tanked it, unfortunately.
Yeah, when we say dishonorable mentions, we don't mean just terrible franchises, although there is a few in here, but we mean some franchises that really should not have been made into a franchise, that should have stopped at one game, franchises that have gone a little downhill over time, and those that just have one great game and a few others that just haven't reached the height of the other one. But speaking of a franchise that has gotten worse over time, the Madden series is a dishonorable mention because ever since EA signed that exclusive deal with the NFL, the Madden series has just tanked. It has
just took their money and ran.
It's not gotten any better.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Madden 21's user score says it all. A 0.2 out of 10. That is a 2% approval rating.
Now,
That
Diggs
should
Gaming.
not happen, and yet it did.
Diggs Gaming. I will admit that I have been watching gameplay on YouTube from YouTubers with Madden 22 in there, and I will say that this low key reminds me of NCAA football. So there might be some redemption, but you're absolutely right. It has not been good since 16, which if you speak video game year language, is actually from 2015, and it has been downhill ever since. It's the quality of the graphics has gotten crappy, and let me put an emphasis on crappy. And not to mention the gameplay mechanics are so unequivocally flawed that it doesn't even make it enjoyable. Like 2K, at least with 2K, you know what you're getting. With Madden, it's just gonna you don't know what's gonna be more worse from last year.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back to KB, and she's gonna talk about the next dishonorable mention.
So we got The Witcher.
Oh,
The Witcher 3. I've already talked about how I'm playing it. I've recently picked it back up. Don't like the world state that it's in. Don't like how they treat most of people in the world. And honestly, there is a lot of graphical glitches just everywhere, especially in cutscenes and things. And with how long this game has been out, there should be far less, if not none, just in general. And then the fact is, The Witcher 3 is also the best one in the series. So y'all can do better.
All right, Sir Meliodas is up next, talking about maybe the worst gaming franchise of all time. Go ahead, Sir Meliodas.
Bubsy. It's amazing. That's what I would have said if I was delusional. No, this game is trash. It's a terrible copying from the Mario Brothers and the platformers they try to make.
It was supposed to be a combination of Mario and Sonic, from what I understand.
Yeah, and then they try to make a new one back in like what, 2017, 2014?
17, you're right, 17.
2017, and it was still trash. It was
just watch the trailer if you don't believe it.
It was the same game, but they just remastered it.
Yeah, watch
crappy graphics.
Playthroughs of Bubsy 3D, and then you'll understand just how bad this franchise is. There is not a good game in there. All right, JoJo has got the final dishonorable mention.
It pained me to put this on a dishonorable list, but I mean, after like the latest installation, I kind of had to. Fallout as a series, man. Let me just like break it down. So the first two Fallout games were like basically only for PC. So if you didn't have a computer or didn't play on a computer, you really never got to play it. That's the first thing. Fallout 76 was by far one of the worst installations of the franchises, and I'm not just talking. It's gotten better now, but let's talk about when the game initially got released. People were getting into dev rooms. That there was not a single thing on that game that working. I personally worked at GameStop at the time when the game came out, and let me tell you, everyone and their mama was returning that game for a reason. Now there were good installations
where we work for less than $10.
Oh yeah, no, literally, I remember.
It's still sitting there.
Oh, I guarantee it. Now there were great installations in that franchise, like New Vegas. There were you had Fallout 4, Fallout 3, but those were really like the main games surrounded by games that you either couldn't play or had the most difficult time playing. And not to mention that 76 was purely online. So you couldn't even play the game if you didn't have an online subscription. So all that free play stuff went out the window, which was a huge inconvenience for people that actually like games from Bethesda. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Getting off the sadness of the dishonorable mentions, we actually have our honorable mentions right now. KB's going to start this one off again with a long-running franchise that has had its ups and downs, but has been a pretty good franchise.
Okay. Assassin's Creed. As JoJo has said, all online play, very sucky. And for me personally, going from Assassin's Creed Odyssey to Assassin's Creed Unity, very bad, very sad. But in general, Assassin's Creed Valhalla has scored high marks. Assassin's Creed Origins has had high marks.
You don't like Unity?
I don't like Unity. It's the one set in Paris, right?
Yeah.
Unity was okay. It wasn't like a fan favorite. Like if you got into it and you thought it was cool, like no one held it against you.
Yeah,
the problem with Unity was just the glitches. If it wasn't as glitchy as it was at launch, it would have been okay.
But it has the best. To me, it has the best graphics in any Assassin's Creed ever made.
What are you talking about?
He's trying to get on your nerves. Don't let him.
No, I will admit that the multiplayer from like Assassin's Creed 3 was like one of the best. Not 3. Brotherhood. Brotherhood had like one of the best multiplayers from that franchise. And if they brought that back with Assassin's Creed, I feel like more people would play it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Ubisoft being some real Ubers.
Let's be honest with the Assassin's Creed franchise. When they make a great game, they make a great game, because you're talking Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They have made some great Assassin's Creed games with this franchise. So It's had
We
some
haven't. We
lows, but
talked
it has
about
had
it.
some very high highs. Let's be honest.
3 without 3, it would be no 4.
That's true.
I never played 4, and I wish I really did play
4 is I'm gonna tell you.
I've heard 4 is great.
4 is the
What's 4? Is Syndicate?
No, Black
no
Flag.
4
Black
is
Flag.
Black
Oh, Black
Flag.
Flag.
Black Flag. I heard Black Flag was good. I just never played it. I played
Same.
Assassin's Creed 3, and I took a hiatus off Assassin's Creed because I
right,
didn't
so then
know
we're
how
not
to
talking-
get off Desmond.
All right, so
Anyway,
we're not
moving
talking
on.
about this for the next 10 minutes. Let's move on to
Oh yeah.
JoJo's
Oh yeah. Let me get into
honorable
this.
mention.
Let me get busy real quick. Yeah.
Go for it.
Next on the list we had Dead Space. Now, honestly, this completely like shot me in the heart putting this right here. But as far as like other franchises go, and not to mention. So,
But
two
JoJo, guess
reasons.
what?
2 reasons to get an honorable discharge. One, Visceral Games, the initial company that made the game, got shut down by EA, and for that we forever hate EA. And by we, I mean the Dead Space community. Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 were all beautifully made games. The continuity, the gameplay, not to mention the co-op in Dead Space 3 that we were all waiting for, was all great. Now they're revamping the series. So this has the potential to get back onto this list, because technically this will be Dead Space 4. Not really, but I'm just but Dead Space 3, it was a great game. It just couldn't compete with like the big name AAA franchises, only because it got shut down for what feels like a damn decade. And otherwise, Sir Meliodas can kind of back me up here. One of the most underrated but great horror franchises that was ever made.
Isaac Clarke is back.
Isaac Clarke is back, baby.
All I gotta say.
All right, next 2 honorable mentions are mine. First one is BioShock. BioShock, when this game came out, it absolutely blew people away. And the other 2 games have been solid as well. And each game has had a twist that you did not see coming. They've been able to do that very, very well. BioShock, it's a great trilogy. I bought the collection on PlayStation 4. Can't wait to play it. And BioShock definitely deserved to be an honorable mention here. Just not enough to get on this list. And the second one, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, it kind of pained me a little that we could not put Ratchet and Clank on here, but I will take an honorable mention. One of the most consistent franchises out there. You guys know how much I love Insomniac. And I love the fact that we were able to talk about Ratchet and Clank a little bit on here. I played so many Ratchet and Clank games. Just such a great franchise. It's a PlayStation mainstay for a long time. Been around since the PlayStation 2 era. And Insomniac just keeps making great games on that. I mean, people just don't understand how much I love the Ratchet and Clank series. I really do. All right. Sir Meliodas has the final honorable mention, and then we are going on to the list.
Test your might. Mortal Kombat. Oh, you got it's if you love bloods and guts and gore and fatalities and babalities and whatever you call it, and friendships and quitalities, if you're kicking someone's butt online and they quit, it's Mortal Kombat. The game is not perfect. None of the games are. I think the story is trash. It's just there to be there because you're not going to pay $60 just to beat someone up in the online, because if that was the case, it should have been like $40. But
What would Budokai Tenkaichi 3?
But if you Mortal Kombat is a good, especially where they're taking it now with the whole story mode. Like I said, I don't really care about the story mode, but it's decent. Mortal Kombat deserves an honorable mention on that list.
All right, those were our dishonorable and honorable mentions. Now we're getting onto this list itself, and we did not rank this from 1 to 25. We have a tier, we have a B tier, an A tier, and an S tier. That's how we did this, and we increased it from 20 to 25. We were going to try to do like going down from a countdown, but we decided that there was no way we were going to agree on a list, so we just decided to go with the tier list, and we increased it by 5. And let's start things off. I'm going to start it off with Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper, it's another PlayStation 2 mascot that came out. And the reason that we put it over Ratchet and Clank is while Ratchet and Clank has really been consistent, it has had some moments where those games haven't been as good. Sly Cooper may have only had 4 games come out, but all 4 have been consistent. And I don't care what critics said about Thieves in Time. I think Thieves in Time was a really good game, right up there with the other 3. This was a really good franchise, and I'm hoping PlayStation brings it back soon. If you believe those rumors that are going around, we may be getting Sly Cooper again soon.
Just make it for every console. Don't even just bring it back to PlayStation. Bring it to everyone, man. Like Crash and Spyro did.
Yeah.
It's a different era, man. Sucker Punch, missing out on finances.
Sly Cooper got the edge over Ratchet and Clank. KB is up next.
Devil May Cry. Personally, I have never played the franchise.
Did you guys know that Devil May Cry originally started off as Resident Evil 4?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
My man's Dante.
overall, solid series. There have been a little bit of controversy when they changed Dante's hair color from silver to black and cut it all off, but honestly, costume changes aren't terrible. Like
That was just
the
an
game,
origin story, so I understand. But
There's a lot
Yeah,
of things
like,
that
it's not-
killed Devil May Cry. Like Devil May Cry.
yeah,
Not
the
the
DCM
collection,
game
but-
was actually decent. If you disregard the
Yeah,
whole
that
hair
wasn't a
thing.
bad game. It's just people hated the redesign of Dante. That's
Oh.
what
yeah.
it was.
So like, it's still a good game, still a solid franchise.
It was just
And that
one of those
fight's gone.
franchises you either had to get into or you never got into it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what it came down to.
I always
But
wanted to get
speaking
into
of
it, but
games
it
that
seems
you
they're
either
not
got
very
into-
good at like difficult games. So
I mean, speaking of games that you either got into or you didn't, Battlefield. Next game on the list.
pass.
Yeah, Battlefield had a awesome upbringing. Honestly, in my opinion, it's better than Call of Duty.
Oh,
It's
yes,
just the realism. It's
definitely.
like Call of Duty is just it was too fan fiction. Like you had ballistics in Battlefield, you had fighter jets, tanks, big playground multiplayer matches. Like I was in the beta for Battlefield 3, and I fell in love with the franchise. Like, and then I started going back to like the Bad Company 1942, Battlefield 1942. And then now they have the new installation with 2042 that completely ditching the campaign. And the campaigns were great in the game, but like now they're just adding it's just full blown multiplayer. You got tornadoes dropping out of nowhere. You can still collapse buildings. They're going back to classic modern Battlefield, and I love it. We need it. And the only reason it's so far down the list is because of games like Battlefield 1 and
Speaking of Battlefield, COD. How is COD over top of Battlefield?
it's just in the same tier.
You may wonder.
It's only the same tier.
in
It's only the same tier. That's
guys.
all it is. That's all
I'm
it
just
is.
trying- I'm
It's
just
only the
trying to
same
get-
tier.
I'm trying to get people to fight over COD and Battlefield. You know.
Please
But,
don't do that.
He's a schemer.
COD is
Tell him.
a like you is a needle in a haystack. You look for a good COD, you get it, then you don't get it.
Tell him.
COD has redeemed itself recently over the years. Like I don't play Warzone, but Warzone is good. But the classic COD from the World War series,
World of War, yeah.
to the Modern
Modern
Warfare
Warfare.
series,
Yeah.
and to the Black Ops series. After that, I don't know
Yeah.
what you're playing because it's nothing good after that.
Dude, the only thing that kept them alive through like Black Ops 3 and 4 was the Zombie Chronicles.
The
And
zombies.
That was literally it.
Yeah.
Battlefield, I mean, like Battlefield 2, as far as like the Black Ops game goes, Black Ops 2 was like the last great Black Ops game. And then when it came to Modern Warfare 3 was good, but Modern Warfare 2 was when it was at its highest peak.
Mhm.
You had people 1v1 and settle differences on the Rust. Like that game was like superior. And it was such a good game. Then they added the survival mode in 3. It was just so good. But then they released like Advanced Warfare.
Oh,
Call of
Advanced
Duty
Warfare is
Infinite.
good. I like Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was okay, but like Infinite is when it started kind of getting like, oh, okay. so
No,
we can
yeah.
go
If you take Warfare and Infinite, it's Warfare over Infinite.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree.
The Exo Zombies, classic. Can't beat that.
Call of Duty Ghosts. Everyone forgets about Call of Duty Ghosts.
We don't speak of Call of Duty Ghosts.
Exactly. What was that alien?
We don't speak of
fighting?
that. No.
What was that?
Yeah, Call of Duty, it may have had its downs, but it's still played an important part in gaming
It's well
history.
recognized.
That's why.
People are going to buy it regardless.
Yeah.
Because it's Call of Duty. That's the
Exactly.
only reason people buy it. They buy it just to say, oh, yeah, I got the new Call of Duty. Sucks.
Yeah. but it still made the B tier because of what it has done for gaming history. It has done some good, has done some bad, but again, has changed gaming. Next one up, the Souls series, and I'm talking Demon Souls
Soul
and
Calibur?
Dark Souls. We are talking about hard games, but fun games.
Yes.
How From Software was able to pull it off, I still don't know. How they
Did you
made the
say
games
fun?
that were so
Yeah, I was
tough.
about to say, did you say Dark Souls is fun?
I
Dark
mean,
Souls
kinda.
can stress you into a coma.
Yeah, more or less. But that's fun, right?
No, that's
No,
frust- that's
that's
frustrating.
Dark
It
Souls
may be
3,
frustrating,
I didn't even get past like
but-
the starting area because I just got so stressed out. I took it right back to Redbox.
These games may be frustrating, but these are well-made games, and these are games that really have done a great job. From Software, they've made some great games, and the
I
Soul
mean, they've
series.
spawned so
I'm getting
many
a headache just
others
thinking about
that
Exactly.
you now have the category of Soulsborne games.
Exactly. They changed gaming when these games came out, and definitely deserves a spot on this list. What prevented it from
Sekiro
going
is
higher
better?
is just the difficulty and the fact that not everybody's going to get into these games. That's the
Sekiro
only
is
reason.
better? What?
Huh?
Sekiro is better? What?
Dude, the Surge is better, and I haven't played the Surge.
Anyway, KV, you're up next.
From extremely hard game to extremely easy game. It is Animal Crossing.
You consider Animal Crossing easy? Dude, I could barely get a house in that game.
Animal Crossing
Yeah,
is
that,
like Sims with
cooked.
furries.
The crook, Tom Nook, at it again. with the
Personification for child
Getaway
slavery.
Desert Island package. Honestly, with the pandemic, how it hit us, it was the perfect time for another Animal Crossing game to come out. Animal Crossing games are always very enjoyable in the way that you have that core gameplay loop of finding your fossils, pulling your weeds, watering your flowers, visiting the store to find out what new stuff is there, and now with New Horizons, being able to craft your own stuff and customize it the way you'd like, it's just very calming and relaxing. It does not want to make me pull my hair out like when I play Dark Souls.
I will admit, New Horizon actually, someone made like a Kakashi outfit from Naruto. Honestly, I just wanted to cop it. So instead, I didn't cop it. But anyway.
Jojo, you are up next.
Speaking of fully customization, a series that prides itself on customization because you really have to keep customizing your stuff to beat the game. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a great franchise. I'm surprised it's not higher, but hey, you know what? You pick your poisons. Kingdom Hearts, the only reason why it's such a B tier is because there are so many games that were only released for DS, and not everyone wanted to mess with Nintendo like that.
And it's got more spin-offs than it does mainline series.
I know, sure as heck I didn't. But you can't even call them spin-offs. They're just they're side stories that lead into the main story. So they're not even spin-offs. They're just they're side quests that lead into the main storyline. Get it right, John. Diggs Gaming. Come on now.
Okay.
No, but the main
bad.
trilogy. The main trilogy, it was split into subparts, and but like I said, a lot of games came out for the DS consoles that people didn't want to mess with Nintendo, so they didn't play them. But then they remastered them, and it wasn't the same. So that's why it's this so far down the list. Even though Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the most underrated Kingdom Hearts games, even though it's watered down for children.
That should have been nominated for Game of the Year, in my opinion.
You were a good button masher when you played the final boss in Kingdom Hearts 2. That's what I'm going to end it on.
Facts. That
you were a pro button masher when you played the final boss on Kingdom Hearts 2. I'll end it there.
Well, speaking of customization, Forza.
Yeah. Tell them, baby.
Forza. It's nothing we talking about the main staple, the straight up racing, we don't play that
air and tires doing to the temperature of the pavement.
We're talking about the Horizon series. Forza
2006 Honda Odyssey. Multiplayer
in itself is a good franchise for racing. I would say next to Gran Turismo, because you got that Sony and you got the Microsoft, but Forza it's just a nudge higher because
Forza just hits different.
Yeah, when we were discussing this, it was between Forza and Gran Turismo. And right away, we all said Forza. And the reason it's got two really good series in there.
You got
It's,
Motorsport
it's
and Horizon.
Motorsport, and it's Horizon.
Yep.
With Horizon, like customization, you can go on the shop and put Godzilla, Mario,
I got
whoever.
Godzilla on one of my cars.
You can make your car look like Speed Racer if you want. It's just crazy.
Sir Meliodas, I actually have a skyline on Forza Horizon 4 with OG Japanese flag themed Godzilla mural on one of my Nissan Skylines.
But speaking of racing in itself, again, hey,
I thought
Diggs
you were
Gaming,
saying
you wanna take this next one?
Got the Sonic franchise on here. Now, the reason it's B tier is because Sonic has had its low moments. We all know Sonic 06 and we all know Sonic Boom. But when Sonic has made a good game, it has really made a good game. This character was designed to help compete with Mario, and that's exactly what Sonic did when it first came out.
We don't talk about Sonic 06 Diggs Gaming.
We don't talk about Sonic Boom either.
We don't talk about Sonic. No, we don't talk about. We can talk about Sonic Boom. We don't talk about Sonic 06.
I see your point there. But Sonic has had some great games over the years. You're talking with the original games that came out on the Sega Genesis. You're talking Sonic Adventure.
I wouldn't call Sonic Fighters a good game.
Sonic Mania was a great game. Sonic Mania was a return to form for Sonic. Sonic, it may have had its lows, but this is a franchise that is still going strong today, and it definitely deserves a spot on this list. Hey, B, speaking of a long-running franchise, go for it.
Tomb Raider. What can I say? Lara Croft, Croft Manor, treasure hunting.
Best female protagonist in gaming. Calling it right now.
Hottest female protagonist in gaming.
Dude, they had a
Cool down, JoJo.
They had a code in there when you put it in to try to make her, nude. You do a backflip and you blow up.
Yeah.
That's the greatest troll job in gaming history.
Yeah, that was nice. I enjoy that. I haven't been able to play the newest one yet, but I really want to because I've enjoyed the previous games in the series.
I'm currently on the second one of the new one. I can tell you that the first one that they did is amazing. So you can get into the series.
I started playing and it was really good. I'll back that up.
I'm in the middle of the second one right now, so
it's like Resident Evil without
Tomb Raider for the Uncharted series. Without Tomb Raider, Uncharted does not happen, and I'm leaving it at
better
that.
Uncharted series.
Uncharted was basically a knockoff of Tomb Raider, and we can all admit that.
Yeah,
because you can't replace sexy Lara Croft with Nathan Fillion, Nathan Drake, especially after Uncharted 4, and then the one with the two girls, Lost Legacy. What was it? What that was Lost Legacy, right? Yeah. We don't talk about that. Exactly why I didn't make it on the list. Yeah. Speaking of games that did make it on the list, this is the first A tier game that we have, and we had to talk about it. Even if I don't like Nintendo as much as I like Xbox, Super Smash Bros. I mean, come on.
A new fighter has arrived.
Enter JoJo. A new fighter has arrived, ready to sweep the competition. Now, let me get into it. So there was the first Smash Bros. Game came out in 64. Had just the base 8 characters. You couldn't unlock no bagel. But when GameCube came out, that's when it really started hitting the road. Let's talk about Melee. Let's talk about when the Wii came out. Let's talk about Brawl with its insane campaign. That was one of the best campaign. That was the best campaign Smash ever had. And the Ultimate, they really kind of kept the homage in there. They didn't try to introduce experience. I mean, you could have easily made them fighters, but hey, you know what? You want to cut back on graphic design. I get it. It was cool though. Smash Bros. Is an all-time favorite fighting game, no matter if you had a Nintendo console or you didn't. Like, you just enjoy playing it. Even if some players are more overpowered than others. Samus.
0-2 Samus. Enough said.
Yeah, I love that Braun did that. I love that Braun made 2 different Samuses. That was awesome. But some Meliodas. You know what game was also good?
Die, Groundwalkers. Gears of War was a freaking console seller. Dude, I remember playing Gears, and it's the Berserker breaks through the wall. You gotta run your your butt off. I was gonna say another word, but PG.
Good restraint.
We don't talk about Judgment.
Judgment was okay. Honestly,
The story, yes. The multiplayer, no.
Oh, okay. I follow you.
No.
I follow you. DLCs were great though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking, but going into
Five
the franchise, I'm glad that they finally got a female protagonist in Gears 5. You play as Kate. She does her thing. The ending is a heartbreak, but
I'm still playing it.
I'm still. You didn't beat it yet?
I haven't beat it yet. No.
I'm not gonna tell you what
Don't
happened
tell
at
me
the. I'm
none.
not gonna tell you what happened at the end. But
Don't tell
it's,
me none.
It's a heartbreak.
You better
where you
not. You
live.
better not. He's not gonna be happy with you if you do.
I know where you live, Leonis.
The ending is a heartbreak, but I'm definitely waiting for Gears 6 to see where they take the series at. Gears 5 multiplayer is iffy with me, but it's a new studio working on a game that you love, and they got to put their own spin on it because they don't want to be called copycats, and then they don't want to take it too far to where they be like, hey, this game is trash. They trying to make a Gears. Why didn't you just do it? If they do something entirely different, they're gonna be like, why didn't you just do it like Epic Games did it? But if they don't, then it's 50-50, so they can't win regardless. But
Gears' biggest downfall, teaming up with Terminator Dark Fate.
yeah. But I was getting at, it's 50-50 because you're gonna love and hate the franchise regardless.
Bautista was a playable character in 5, and then he's also talking about trying to make it a live action movie series. So I'd be cool with that.
We'll wait on that. But
I'd be cool with it.
Speaking of a franchise that is good, not only is it a franchise, he's in comics as well. Hey, Diggs, you wanna take this one?
The Batman Arkham series. There was no way we were leaving this off the list. Batman Arkham Asylum, when it first came out, people were really skeptical that Rocksteady could pull this off because they were a young studio at the time, but they absolutely nailed it. And then they got even better with Arkham City. That might be the best superhero video game of all time. Either that or Marvel Spider-Man.
I'm about to say sorry, Spider-Man.
I would say Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
That game was solid.
Let's say one of the best. Let's say one of the best. Now, they did not make Arkham Origins. That was by Warner Brothers Montreal, but that was still a very enjoyable game.
Montreal does it
Arkham
better,
Knight,
personally.
which
really let you explore Gotham. The only downside of that was the Batmobile. That was a downside. But all around, the Batman Arkham series was a great series. Rocksteady deserves a medal for that franchise. Oh my God. I love the Batman Arkham series. I am so happy that we were able to put it on this list. And in the A tier, definitely deserves to be on there. KB, you're up next.
Speaking of games you immerse yourself in.
Elder Scrolls.
Hold on, guys. I got to cut you off real quick. I found myself an Elder Scroll.
Sorry.
You can shout people off the side of mountains. The ragdoll physics are immaculate. You can have so much fun just like swinging people around.
You have just as much fun dying as you do living.
Basically, yeah. And that's I think the hallmark of a great game is you in Dark Souls, you get very upset when you die. In Skyrim, you're like, I just launched myself somehow with a giant the entire way across the map.
The mods.
And the mods, yeah.
The
content creators for Skyrim. You can have Thomas the Tank Engine. You can have My Little Pony in there if you want.
I remember that Mines.
You can do what you want in Skyrim, and it's going to be great. The only downside for me is I can never play this game in VR because I am extremely arachnophobic, and the giant spiders scare me.
Play Grounded.
Speaking of games that scare you, we talk about an obvious choice for A tier, Resident Evil.
Stars. You want stars?
Resident Evil.
I'll brave you stars.
Nemesis. No, let's talk about Resident Evil, man. I mean, we really got to talk about it. I mean, as far as the revamps go, 2 was obviously better than 3. Let's Let's just
Agreed
leave
on that.
at the
Agreed
door.
on that.
Yeah,
As far as some of the best games ever made, let's talk about 4, 5, 6. We don't talk about Biohazard. Village was absolutely fantastic, and they're still going because Resident Evil is honestly you got not just the games themselves, but look at who they made themselves compatible with. Dead by Daylight added Nemesis, Leon, Claire, Chris.
From the comics, from the TV series, from the movie, it's just a lot.
We don't talk about the movies. We don't talk about the movies that
No,
much.
no. 1 and 2 are okay. After that, no.
Okay, I can agree.
The animated movies.
You saved yourself on that,
Yeah.
Meliodas. You saved yourself on that.
No, but honestly, like just how it makes you scared out of your mind, but you don't want to put it down. It's the perfect balance as far as horror games go. Resident Evil is one of the greatest horror franchises that ever was. And they get better and better every year. Like you can't compare it to anything else. It's a one of a kind game. And that's why it's so high on the list. Honestly, there's the only reason it didn't make S rank is because there's so many games that deserve to be on the S rank.
Yeah, speaking of a game that just missed the S tier, Sir Meliodas, let's talk about Metal Gear.
Snake.
Snake.
I don't know. I rarely. The only Metal Gear I played was the recent one that came out.
Hang on, guys. I'm just gonna go hide in my box for this.
When it was the big open world one, I forget. I know it was Metal Gear
5.
Yeah, was it Ground Zeroes or something like that?
Something like
Phantom
that.
Pain.
No,
Phantom Pain.
yeah, the game we don't play because it sucks.
Yeah, that's the whole. I mean, as a series, it's good. I really have nothing on this. It deserves a spot on the list, obviously, but
just off the theme song alone.
Yeah, I'm just torn.
Just off Snake's theme alone, it deserves a spot on the list.
I know people.
Hideo freaking Kojima. Oh my God, these games were just absolutely amazing. They really were.
Snake! Until he made the running simulator. What's that called? What is it? Death Stranded.
All right.
Speaking of
another long-running franchise that we put on the A tier, the Pokemon franchise, maybe the most profitable video game franchise of all time. Just putting that out there. I mean, you had the video games, you have the TV series, you have the trading cards, you have the figurines, you have freaking books, you have freaking everything with Pokemon, but with the game franchise itself, you got to catch them all.
It's an anime now. Let's just correct that. It's not a cartoon. It's an anime. Let's get it right.
No, I meant to say anime. My bad. I meant to say anime.
I mean, it's still a trading card game.
That no one played more than Yu-Gi-Oh!
Digimon is better.
Yeah.
Pokemon as a gaming franchise, some really creative worlds, some really creative creatures for you to catch, some great gym leaders. That's really what you need to make a great Pokemon game. The only reason it's not an S tier, again, we just had so many games that were just a little bit better than Pokemon. KB, one of your favorite franchises, is up next.
Monster Hunter. I fought so hard to put this game on the S tier. I really did. I believe in my heart it is in the S tier. I will ignore.
Why are you breaking your heart right now? I'm sorry.
She was out.
I was outvoted.
Ooh.
Y'all are rude.
Oh.
It probably would have made the S tier if I could have made it.
Yes, sir. Meliodas could.
Really, the only honestly, and I'll kind of add my input into it. Like the only reason it's not S tier because it's one of those games that not everyone can get into.
Yeah,
it's recognizable, no doubt. Like that gameplay is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it's just you either got into it or you never got into it, or you had friends that wanted to play it and then backed down on you last minute, like me.
Yeah, let's be honest. When we were trying to figure out the S tier, it was just okay. Which one is going to deserve to be up there? Which one is? And it was tough. It was tough. And Monster Hunter just missed it, just like Pokemon just missed it. However, definitely deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, the monsters are amazing. Most of the weapons are great. Some of the ones in World weren't the best because they were Really, the only issue was most of the weapons were metal or bone with a couple monster parts slapped onto them. Rise fixed that. I mean, they kind of fixed it in World with the layered armor system, but in Rise, it definitely was completely fixed. So, still an A tier, still an S tier in my heart. Number one gaming franchise.
Now we move on to the S tier, and these were some of the best of the best. These were franchises that
Let's start
just
with the Nintendo
define
games
gaming,
first.
changed the way we see games, and definitely deserved this spot. And JoJo's first up with
No,
maybe his
can we just
favorite video
start-
game franchise of all
I
time.
would like to humbly request that we start with the Nintendo games first and work our way out of Nintendo, so we don't talk about Nintendo like we always do.
Why?
I just humbly request it. I just don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what I have up first. I don't want to do. I want to do my series like that. I'm loyal.
All right. Then I'll go first.
I don't want to dog my boys.
All right, then
Okay.
I'll go first with the Legend of Zelda franchise.
Thank you, God.
This one, right away, we knew was going to be on S tier because this game might be the most innovative franchise of all time. Every single time there is a new game that comes out, it just does something different that makes you think, how the heck did we not think of doing that earlier? It changes gaming every time a new one comes out. The first game in the franchise allowed you to save your progress. I cannot tell you how much that has meant to gaming as a whole. The fact that Nintendo did that with the first Legend of Zelda game. And then it just keeps going. You have Ocarina of Time. You have the Wind Waker. Of course, Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda, to me, is better than the Mario franchise. Yeah, I said it. Moving on.
Speaking of Zelda, Mario. I'm joking. I don't really care. But Mario's good. I like Mario. It's me, Mario.
Mario's overplayed.
I heard.
I will put
Aren't
that
they?
on everything.
Aren't they aliens or something? Mario? What are they? Because they're not human. I can tell you that.
Mario's an Italian plumber.
That's literally what he is.
Really?
But Mario
I
also
thought he was
saved
like-
video games as a whole. When the first game came out, it saved video games after the crash of 1983. Saved video gaming. And yes,
The
definitely
majority of the
deserved a
Italian
spot on this
Mario
list.
population is
Odyssey.
actually short.
Super Mario Odyssey is very good. I like
I'm just an
that.
exception. I can't.
One of the
even
most
confirm that
consistent
shit.
franchises out there. We had to put Mario in S tier, or else we were gonna have people knocking down our doors. Let's be
Luigi's
honest.
more of a bad man. Luigi's the baddest man, and I'll take that to my grave.
True.
Luigi got swagger.
Speaking of bad men, JoJo.
Oh yeah, let me get into bad men doing bad things with bad women. Oh, hold on, let me get into it. Grand Theft Auto, baby. You can't have an S rank without Grand Theft Auto.
Nope.
I'm not talking about 1. I'm not talking about 2. 3 was okay, but we really talking about when it got cinematic.
4.
I'm talking Vice City.
4.
I'm talking San Andreas. My man Samuel L. Jackson. I'm talking about 4.
All you gotta
My
do
man,
was follow the train, CJ.
my man Nico Bellic. I'm talking about 5, man, with the Lamar memes. Lamar Davis, baby. Like there was not a single once GTA got cinematic, it wasn't a bad game. There were no bad games. Even the spin-offs were bad. There was a spin-off of Vice City that had Phil Collins in it. Like you had Ray Liotta as like the main guy. You had people from like old GTA games coming back and making reappearances. Like you had cameos. It was awesome. Like they kept the continuity. They kept the same 3 cities: Vice City, Liberty City, and San Andreas. And they expanded on San Andreas beautifully. And I cannot express this enough that I cannot wait for GTA 6. And I'm hoping to God that it is in Vice City. For the love of God, can we get a revamp of Miami, please?
Speaking of gods, KB.
Oh yeah, boy.
God of War. It's got to be one of
God
the
of-
best gaming series.
Got a boy.
God of Boy.
Boy.
Sorry, one second.
Boy. Boy.
Boy. So I definitely do enjoy the twist of how they've evolved this series, where it's not just Kratos mad Hulk smash kind of stuff, and now there's more story and lore and character development.
They also
Just in
they
general?
changed the feel about it too, because it used to be just
They
like kind of like a
did.
scroller third person to like an actual third person.
There's no breed in this one though. I'm mad.
Yeah, with more open world with
He
areas and
didn't-
everything.
He didn't breed in this one.
True.
How you can't have God of
He
War?
did have Norse weaponry though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Leviathan axe. I'm still gonna say, personally, my preference over the Blades of Chaos.
Oof.
I'm going Blades all day personally.
Oof.
I'm an OG.
Hey,
I'm a
as I've said-
Guys, we had this argument during the weapons episode. We're not getting into it again. We're not.
Blades
Anyway.
of Chaos.
Blades of Chaos.
Great in combination, I'll say that. But if I had to pick one,
You can.
Anyway,
I like
moving
that you
on.
can switch between the both.
That's true.
Yeah, you can switch between the both. Like 'cause
Yeah.
there are enemies that require you to switch between the both.
yeah.
And not to mention the world snake. Now,
Mhm.
who else thought that he was
Jormungandr?
trying to eat you?
The Midgard Serpent.
The serpent.
Speaking of weapons, this is a game that has a crap ton of them.
The Final Fantasy series. Originally, this was supposed to be the final game of a gaming company, and it has grown so much since then. We have a 16th mainline game coming out at some point in the next few years. This franchise has just been amazing. Yeah, a little bit of
Just
low
shocked I
points like
still
the
haven't played
release of Final Fantasy 14. They had to revamp all that. And Final Fantasy 13 was too linear for the Final Fantasy fans. But all in all, this was a terrific franchise, or is a terrific franchise, with the high points being Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, and I will say Final Fantasy 15. These games are absolutely amazing. They truly are. And without Final Fantasy, we do not get Kingdom Hearts. We do not get Kingdom Hearts without it. This franchise definitely deserved a spot on this list. One of the most consistent franchises out there. A great franchise. Definitely is right up there with some of the best. But speaking of a franchise that's right up there with one of the best, Sir Meliodas.
What do you get when you get a man and you send him to hell? And the creatures in hell are scared of the man, but they live in hell.
You get Doom.
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 Doom. Doom. It's the staple of first-person shooters. Without Doom, it wouldn't be no Quake.
Wouldn't be
It
no
wouldn't be
memes.
no Fear. It would be no
There'd be no
whatever-
Call of Duty.
whatever you're playing now.
No, there'd still be Call of Duty.
Doom is arguably
There wouldn't be a Devil May Cry without Doom. I will say that.
one of the best first-person shooter franchises
The original
ever
first-person shooter.
made. Yes.
Yeah, one of the originals.
One of the OG first.
And then they gave us Doomslayer. And then Doomslayer merges. No, Bethesda merges with Microsoft. So Doomslayer can punk slap the dog piss out of Master Chief. Finally.
You're full of it.
Speaking
They're
of,
brothers in arms, buddy.
Speaking of Master Chief.
Yeah, I mean, no, we got to still talk about Doom a little bit. The way they revamped the franchise is beautiful.
Exactly. That franchise was dormant for
Yeah.
a good
But Doom
while,
3,
and then
though.
it comes back in 2016 with a
When was the last
terrific
Doom?
game,
2004?
and then a sequel that was up for Game of the Year.
But Doom 3 though.
Wasn't Doom 3 like 2004?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still,
so
it's still one of
been
the greatest Doom games.
It's been a while.
It's still one of
yeah.
the greatest Doom games, though.
Yeah.
I mean, but if we want to talk about someone who puts Doomslayer into internal Doommation, let's talk about my man.
It's not gonna
who-
happen.
Let's talk about my man who literally took down an entire alien army single-handedly because Marines
Dude.
can't do their jobs.
Dude.
Let's talk about a man who mags on a cyber woman like it's his job. Talk about a man who literally destroyed multiple entity-killing devices by himself. Let's talk about my man Master Chief with the Halo franchise.
You're gonna ignore the fact that Doom Slayer took out a Titan by himself? What?
Master Chief blew up a ring.
Ugh.
That can
Guys,
end
do you want me
all
to yell
of
again? Because I
humanity.
will if you get into this argument. Do you want me to
What?
yell again?
It's
Fine.
Just talk
fine.
about Halo.
I'm chilling. No, Halo is one of the greatest it is the greatest sci-fi franchise of all time, and here's why. You have iconic characters, you have iconic soundtracks. There's never been a bad soundtrack with a Halo game. You have most continuous story. It's so good they're making a new one. Hopefully it comes out this year. I'm praying to God it does.
It's set for November, I believe, right?
It's
it is
December.
They pushed it back again.
No, it was confirmed to be. It was supposed to be confirmed for December. But anyways, with even it wasn't even just the first person shooters. You had games like Halo Wars, Spartan Strike, Spartan Assault. Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike. Yeah. And then you also had, I mean, even though Halo 5 wasn't perfect, it still had a lot of good qualities to it. Like they tried their best to make Halo Chief for the modern day first person shooter. There were flaws that you obviously need to be worked out, but thankfully we got a look at Halo Infinite already, and it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's still not a harder first person shooter than Halo 2 on the hardest difficulty.
You're forgetting about Halo Reach, my guy.
I just beat Halo Reach on Legendary, and I still rather take that over Halo 2 on Legendary.
Halo
Reach. At
Reach.
least I'm gonna restart the entire map.
Halo Reach for me will go down as the best Halo game I've ever played.
It by far is one of the greatest ones. I personally take 3 because of the soundtrack and the story compared to Reach, but I like how Reach you put yourself in the game.
Yeah,
beautiful. It was just put together beautifully, and in my opinion, is better than Mario and Legends.
And that's why we did not do a countdown, because we were all gonna have different opinions on that.
Even though Gears of War should have been on the S list.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter.
I still think we should have put Ratchet and Clank in at least B tier, but I digress.
So all you listeners out there, just a total disclaimer: this is not at all should be taken to heart. At the end of the day, this is all just we all had. Me, Diggs Gaming, and KB, because Sir Meliodas couldn't make it. Neither could Paul, but we all had time trying to decipher what was good be where and what would be the most fair.
We had to limit this from over 50 games. You have to understand that over 50 franchises we had to get down.
Absolutely. And
and
we went from like 75 to what we had here today.
Yeah.
It took and I can tell you what, it took a long time just to get that list all down pat.
But
it took us over an hour.
It did. I'm happy with how the list turned out. What about you guys?
Here's a
Yeah, I can live with it.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't put this up on Facebook, but yeah, I'm cool with it.
At the end of the day, none of these games, I mean, besides the dishonorable mentions,
we all have our favorites. We all have the ones.
None of these games we're saying don't go play them. Go play the games. We're all gamers here.
All these games are worth playing. Check them out. These are some of the best franchises of all time. Well, they are some of the best franchises
out there to make anime games. How about you give us a Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game, but with 7 Deadly Sins characters?
Please. Deanne, okay, I'm so honest.
All right. Before we go, got some updates. I'm going to have some videos coming out for you. JoJo might be doing some streaming on Twitch soon, so make sure to follow him. What's your Twitch, my friend?
I just changed it recently. Give me a second. Let me pull that up.
Well, I'll make sure to put a link to his Twitch down in the description box below, so keep an eye out for that.
TV is my name.
Say it one more time.
My handle on Twitch, I changed it. It's JD the King TV.
Yeah, so make sure to give him a follow on Twitch.
Also,
and
your
KB
boy
and I might be having some Let's Plays coming soon on the channel, so we're gonna have some things coming up soon.
And your boy Sir Meliodas is starting a stop motion channel in September. So I will.
Yeah, big things coming for all of us. And as always, I am Diggs Gaming.
KB Hunting.
Your boy JoJo.
And also join with your boy. Let me clear my throat one more time. Sir Meliodas.
We will see you guys next time.
Peace.